Race fans, good evening and welcome to the heart of the Mid-Atlantic in the mountains of Virginia. An iconic racetrack tonight here in Martinsville, going to be the place where the AMA Truck Series does battle trench warfare / short track style. Good evening and welcome to Redline Racing Network. Matt Metler, as always, up in the Tony Trapasso Memorial Booth, is qualifying underway. And if you're tracking along with me right now, the man, the myth, the legend, Kendall Paul, the HMFIC of the league, currently has the pole. Right now, locked in with a hot lap of a 19.41 blistering lap put down by him. Well, if the opening of the show wasn't enough, on top of that, to add some more flame to the fire, playoff racing, we're deep in it. Tonight cutoffs is a cutoff race, which means only 4 drivers are going to move on to the championship round next week. Let's go ahead and take a look at the playoff standings. And ladies and gentlemen, they are a tight one. Coming into this event tonight, as we throw that up on the main screen for you, Kyle Heath and Mark Murphy, they are locked and ready to rock next week by virtue of a win. Drivers, Paul Witt, who currently is 30 points to the good in that 29 ride, and Kendall Paul are locked in on points. But if tonight's race is anything like it was last night with one race left, anything and everything is possible. And these drivers, like David Dunwoody, has to basically win this race. There is nothing else he can do. He has to go out there, put on a clutch performance, win and in. Similar story for Hodgson, Austin Lund, and Jake Turner in the 62, as he is 60 points behind the cutoff, again with just one race remaining. Tonight, win and in for some of those drivers that you see in the red or you're dead. The other drivers on the left side, 2 drivers locked in. However, Paul Witt and Kendall Paul, it's not a walk in the park for them tonight either. They have to go out there and perform, especially if a driver like David Dunwoody decides to punch his ticket into victory lane this evening. Let's go ahead and throw the ticker up on the screen. So you folks can follow along at home. As I was mentioning, Kendall Paul currently looks like he is going to lock in the pole for tonight, so he is getting it done early. Here in qualifying, he's going to carry the torch, as qualifying only has about 20 seconds left, and I don't see any other drivers out there on the racetrack. Huchin's going to qualify in a 19:44.53. Austin Hunt looks like he's going to slot in third. Well, the 88 of James Hodgson and David Dunwoody, they're going to round out your top 5. Colby Pierce, Paul Witt, that's going to be good for a 6th and 7th place qualifying effort. While Jake Turner, I believe that's Fernsey. I hope I'm not saying that right. Going to roll off there in that 10th place position. Is now we send it down trackside. That iRacing.com pace car out on the field just after the start-finish line. Tonight, 13 drivers going to take the initial green flag. Take a quick peek at the weather this evening under the lights in prime time. Just after 6 p.m. or for all you military time folks, clocking in at 1,800 hours. Winds out of the west at 5 miles an hour. Those will be a non-factor, especially as the speeds are lower here. Ambient air temperature, couldn't ask for anything better this time of the year. 73 degrees. Nowhere near as humid as it was last night. Almost 90% tonight. Very fall-esque. Dry air in place. 29% clear skies. And that track temp at a 74 degree Fahrenheit. That means after a couple laps, after these Goodyear Eagles get some heat in them, they're going to be making all the grip out there on the paperclip. Is that field now just about set, ready to rock and roll here? As I mentioned, Kendall Paul going to have the pole. He's getting it done out of Kansas. John Hutchins in the 72. He's going to be your outside pole sitter in second. Well, Austin Hutton's going to roll off here P3. Hodgson, outside lane. I have no idea why. My graphics guy thinks he's funny. I'm sorry about that, folks. We're at Martinsville, not Shartonsville. David Dunwoody's going to roll off P5. Well, Colby Pierce in that 20 machine is going to roll off 6. Paul Witt in the 29 ride. He knows how to get it done on the short tracks in that 7th place position. Well, Mark Murphy is going to roll off in the 69 ride in 9th. Kyle Heath going to round out your top 10. Well, George in the 75 is going to roll off there 11th. Brandon Hinton looks like he's going to be good for 12th. And I'm not seeing the 56 out of Fallsburg out there on the racetrack. So maybe he is race control. So it looks like we're going to have 12 competitors here go to war here at Martinsville. As let's go ahead and fix that graphic. Ha, ha, ha. You got me, buddy. There we go. This field racked and stacked on the pace lap. Lights go out on the pace truck, which means we're going green flag racing all the way 200 laps for some of these drivers to punch their ticket to the championship round. Calm before the storm here as Kendall Paul is going to lead these boys to the green flag. Out of the turns 3 and 4 complex. Here we go. It's time to wipe the visor. Pull those belts tight. 1 more 5. Kick the Dutch. Hope that rear end doesn't bust. Green flag in the air, and these V8s come roaring to life here, piercing the night sky. Ooh, the 88 goes way up the hill there. Oh, 3 wide. Here we go. The 29 goes around. He caught a truck to the face. It all goes wrong for Paul Witt, and I had a feeling that 3 wide there was not going to be a good thing. Sure enough, the Black Angel of Death bites the 79 or the 29 truck, excuse me, here early. Not having 1 green flag logged in, we're going to have to roll this back old school VHS style to break down what happened here. Again, this happening on the initial green flag of the race. That ought to be good. Green flag in the air here. All is well. And watch what happens here, folks. I'm going to slow it down. Let's go to the eye in the sky. We're focusing on the 29 of Kendall Paul. You see the 88 blows the corner. He gets way up there in the loose stuff. That's going to set us up. That's going to be all the primer we need here. You see the squeeze job there. The 20 tries to come up, give him room, gets into the 88. He gets ricocheted back down. Contact is made, and he gets pointed towards the fence. Barely misses the 88. All these drivers hard on the binders. You see the smoke fly in there. Wow, the 69 did a great job. Mark Murphy finding a way through there. Get Skinny up there on the top, and everyone able to come to a halt and avoid a big-time pileup. I-95 traffic jam style here on the first incident on the evening. We now go back to the live side of things here from Martinsville. Again, want to thank everyone for tuning in right here to Redline Racing Network. You thinking about joining the family? It's simple. Smash the like button, ring the bell, come home to all the high-flying, high-octane racing action. And in fact, you won't miss any of the AMA Xfinity or Truck Series. Get notified each and every time they are doing battle out there on the racetrack. You won't miss any of the action right here on Redline Racing Network. We talked about David Dunwoody at the top of the broadcast. There he is, up one position from where he started. He's currently in fourth. He really flexed some muscle. He showed that he had the poise and the composure under high-stress situations out there on the racetrack. It was do or die for him last night. However, tonight he is in sudden death mode. He has to win this race. You guys aren't aware, it's been a long, grueling season. AMA, they go all the way. They run a schedule comparable to the real-life series, which means these drivers have dedicated a lot of blood, sweat, and tears to this season. And to go this far into the playoffs, you don't want to come up short here, as that green flag gets ready to go back in the air once again. Kendall Paul gets it done on the restart there. 15 machine's going to be ripping the bottom. Austin Hunt going up against the 72 of Hutchins. Side by side, door to door, as they send it off four. They drag race down the front stretch. The 15 going to have the preferred line here. Tight, close quarters racing. John trying to pin him down there. It's still side by side. They still don't have it set. Right now, being early in this race, and we've seen that be a factor last night in the Xfinity Series. Give and take is okay right now. You have a long way to go. You can't win it on lap one. You have to survive and be alive. Ooh, that got up close and personal. Austin able to hold off the 72. He's going to slot now into that second place position. And in fact, even he views he was battling. Turns the fastest lap of the race. Hounded out there on the racetrack at 19:55. Dethrones Kendall Paul's fastest lap by a 10th. All this heavy racing going on has not allowed Kendall Paul to get away. You see everyone ripping the bottom here, conveyor belt style. Biggest mover of the race so far. Hey, it's 69 time. It's the Murph, Mark Murphy. That P1 Broadcasting EcoBoost F-150. Let's go on board, see how he gets around this iconic racetrack. From Newburgh, Indiana. So out there in the Midwest, listen to the throttle control and the discipline on the loud pedal this man has. If he sends it into the corner, got to put a lot of wheel into it. Right there, how you transition from the corner onto the throttle, onto that loud pedal, really dictates what kind of a run you're getting out of the corner, but also how well you're going to save those Dr. Feelgoods over the long run here. Little piece of the curve in there is not going to hurt anybody. You want to talk about the Hornet's Nest? Let's take a peek out the back. Let's switch it over to the GoPro bumper camera. You can see it checking out, but that battle is fast and furious behind him. 2 by 2 Noah's Ark situation as we widen things back out. Paul Witt just ahead of all the chaos on the racetrack. If something was going to pop off, it could be right here. Tell you what, they were 2 by 2, side by side, but as soon as we widen things back out from Fraser, Michigan, things seem to start to settle down here a little bit. And again, some of these drivers probably applying what they learned last night and applying it to this night's races. My son wants to come in and let everyone know he is rooting for Kendall Paul in the 78. As we continue to focus on this battle here. This is 7th through 10th out there on the racetrack. Here goes the 13. He's going to pull the trigger. Turner rocking the bottom. He's eating hard on the inside here. Able to get back on the loud pedal. put the cojones to the pavement, and he's going to get past the 62 the hard way. Or excuse me. Actually, I had it right the first time there. So another change for position out there on the racetrack. Jake Turner -1 on the scoring pylon. Started 8th, runs 9th. As Mark Murphy continues to be the biggest mover out there on the racetrack. Turns out Matt Fernsey is out there on the racetrack. Perhaps he pit started, but 13 drivers currently out there in competition as we're now 22 laps of the scheduled 200 into this piece. Send it back up to the front. Kendall Paul continues to command, carries the torch. Up and coming storm chaser out of Kansas. Plus, he's the commander-in-chief of this league, and hey, everyone's trying to run down the captain right now in that Ford EcoBoost. Hunt's about 7/10 of a second behind Paul, so he's keeping him honest. He's not letting him get away. Those lap times about mirroring themselves between Paul and Austin. Last time by, they both ran a 20:08. Last night, we seen a lot of tire fall off after about 15 laps or so. Tonight, there's a couple tenths, but not as drastic as it was with the Xfinity Series cars. And 25 laps into this race officially in the books. We're going to step aside, do our first all-out coverage break. Don't go anywhere. You're not going to miss anything right here on Redline Racing Network. Race fans, welcome back to Martinsville, Virginia. In the heart of the playoffs here, a cutoff race, so much on the line for some of these drivers here tonight in the final of the finale. There we go, of the round of 8. Kendall Paul continues to carry the torch and show the way here, 39 laps into this piece. And for some reason, if we have overtime in our back pocket, the Joker's up the sleeve. Because AMA will do everything they can to get this race in under green flag conditions should we need it. Big battle brewing right here for that 5th, 6th, and 7th place position. Paul Witt just in front of Kyle Heath and John Hughes. Other than that big-time incident there on the initial start of the race, it has been all lean and mean, green flag action here. Kyle Heath now is under some big-time pressure and duress. Ooh, the 72 kind of overdrove the center there. Lost a little bit of ground, a little bit of real estate to the 13 of Heath. As he starts to dial up the excitometer in the cockpit of Paul Witt's 29 round. Drag racing down the backstretch in hard into this braking zone. These brakes are going to get a workout. Oftentimes you can see that glowing orange color radiating through the wheel wells, through those vent holes in the rims. Not quite there yet at 44, but by the time we're done, we should be able to see that just how much heat they're generating. In fact, you can see a little bit of the glow there already out of the 29 machine. Sending it back up to the front. That's been the Kendall Paul show since the drop of the green flag. And that Black Magic sponsored Craftsman Truck Series race truck. Kendall Paul being smooth. The Iceman right now, not making any mistakes. Knows there's a long way to go here, but he also understands things when they happen at Martinsville happen in the blink of an eye. Smooth on the brakes. And you got to be just as methodical when you transition back to the throttle here as well. The last thing you want to do is break those Goodyears loose in the back and send this thing around. He had an incident last night where he kind of shot himself in the foot, went full-blown Baja mode, took the Evel Knievel line, jumped the curbing, and landed this thing on the access road. Just after pit road, and then really had to go to work, grind it out there, was able to rally for a strong finish at the end of this thing in the Xfinity Series car. This truck gets around this racetrack a little bit differently. However, showing some great skill because he's getting it done here in the truck and was able to execute very well last night in the Xfinity car. Going just inside the top 10 here. Here's George in the 75. Last time by, he ran a 2019. So now starting to see about a half second of fall off here. And just as I mentioned George's name, we are under caution. That should be the stage break. Because I'm not seeing any indication here of an incident on the racetrack. So much like Heath last night, this caution flag, all that gap, all that real estate he put between himself and P2, that is going to evaporate. As this should be wholesale pit stops here. Everyone should be coming down pit road. And here comes the brigade. Pit road becomes the hottest place here at Martinsville, as Kendall Paul leads the charge down. Don't want to have any mistakes here. Track position proved to be critical last night. You see the 15, beautiful entry into his box. Kendall able to stick the landing there. You see the Jack going to work. Should be 4 tires and fuel. 2 cans of Sunoco Racing fuel to be exact. Oh, the 15 might get him. It's a drag race to the line. Hod was able to dethrone the boss man and get it done on pit road. Holy hell. Heavens to Betsy. What a blistering pit stop by Hunt. I didn't think Kendall was going to get his teeth kicked in the pits like that. Like I was saying just moments ago, you have to execute on pit road. You have to check all 3 boxes here tonight. Be competitive, execute on pit road, and 3, stay out of the calamity on the racetrack, and that should prime you and set you up here for a good finish at Martinsville. Let's take a look here at the pit delta. Continue to pace here at Martinsville. Hun going to lead the way now. He's going to take over. So he was able to beat Paul off at pit road. Dunwoody in a do-or-die situation. He's going to restart here 3rd. Will Paul win? The 29 ride is going to roll off here 4th. Kyle Heath rounds out the top 5. In fact, your 5th and 6th place drivers, both up 6 spots apiece. They are tied for the biggest mover of the race. There's John Hoochins in the 72. He's going to restart 7th, while Brandon Hitt going to slot in 8th. Turner. Beautiful paint scheme on that truck tonight. You're going to restart in 9th, and rounding out your top 10, the Murph, Mark Murphy, in that P1 broadcasting machine. Calm before the storm here, ladies and gentlemen, like you're in the center of a Category 5 hurricane, but it's about to get rowdy. Green flag back in the air. The V8s come roaring back to life. And Hunt does a great job executing on that restart as he's going to maintain the lead here. First time Kendall Paul's really been in traffic tonight. And last night, having that lead, it paid dividends. Catching him's one thing, passing him's another. A lot of times we've seen the trucks that were able to get the lead right immediately after that start running some of their fastest laps of the race. Let's see if this holds true here for Austin. Last goes purple, fastest lap of the race of 1945. Kendall Paul ran his fastest lap of the race at a 19.47. Let's go on board with Paul. Currently in that 2nd place position. Salina, Kansas. The Storm Tracker, well, he's trying. A lock of beat in on Hunt. Let's take a look at his onboard telemetry. It's going to appear in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. You can see he has it in the high gear, in the money gear, in that 4th gear. 4-speed H pattern on these machines. Man, he is really able to carry some speed. And as we go on board with Paul, caution flag reigns once again. So that's going to slow things down here a little bit. We're trying to see who can keep their grip at the paper clip. Getting the notification that the 56 of Matt Fernsey may have had a problem here. Let's go to the Redline Racing Network instant replay. Fernsey in the 56. Sandwiched. Oh, he's going to... Oh, hold on to it, buddy. Little piece of net code there. He's going to get spun into next Wednesday and park it up against the fence. Let's watch this again. Send it up here to the eye in the sky. Chopper cam. Let's slow it down here. Oh, he does the slide for life over and off the curbing. Then he goes up there, has a speed date with the 88, jumps in board the cockpit with him. A little bit of some net code there, and then he gets spun off the nose of Hodgson, and he's going to park it bullseye right into that Mountain Dew graphic. So he backs it in the top shelf of the fence. Wild ride there for the driver of the 56. Let's go on board with him and see what this looked like in real time. I mean, this was probably the don't stain your ride, don't use tide moment of the race as far as I'm concerned. '88 comes down and that truck just steps out on him and jumped the curbing. Oh, Jesus, here come the barrels. He just missed them. He may have went Baja Blast there as he saw that end of that virtual truck's life coming to an end. I don't know how he missed those barrels. That was incredible. He probably needed 4 tires and a race suit after that. I got to see this again. Go ahead and wind this back. Baja, there's, oh, wild. What an absolute miracle. How did he not pepper those things? Got a little bit of extra help there from the 88 as he got up close and personal with him. Back to the live side of things as we spent some extended time breaking down. Oh, the 29 gets putted in the accordion mode and we stay green. What a miraculous job by all 3 of those drivers there between Kendall Paul, the 29 of Paul Witt, and the kicker in this incident, Kyle Heath in the 13. That woulda, shoulda, could have been a caution, but it wasn't. Absolutely incredible stuff here. Oh, it has a moment in that simply blue fuel Toyota TRD powered machine. Has a moment to catch his breath. Don't look now, but that 13, Kyle Heath, veteran race car driver in that pit boss Chevrolet, knows how to get it done here at Martinsville. Very good short track racer, in my opinion, as he continues to stalk his prey. This for that 4th place position. With Witt has it, Heath wants it. So we send it back up to the point. Hud now doing his best impersonation of Kendall Paul. And don't look now, Mr. Excitement. Where did he come from? Mr. Dunwoody. Who needs to go out there and do it tonight in the form of a win. Echoing the performance he put down last night as he runs in 2nd place position. However, it is not enough. He needs to go full-blown Las Vegas high-stakes mode here, double down, and come out of here with a victory to maintain and keep his bid active for an AMA Truck Series championship. Kendall Paul slides back to third. Lowest he's been on the pecking order all night since the drop of the green flag. Remember, he was your pole sitter. Fastest truck on the racetrack continues to be Kyle Heath right here in the 13 machine. Just talked about him moments ago. Best lap of the race in 1947. He's still the only driver in the 1966 bracket as cautions breed cautions. Jake Turner may have been involved in some extracurricular activities. Let's go ahead, roll play back here. Keep your eye on the 62. Very similar to what happened last night. Just overdrove the entry a little bit there, and those Goodyears said, yep, we're taking a lunch break. Lost all the grip, around she went. However, no other casualties in this one. Drivers had great situational awareness there, able to get around the 62 as he parked it in the 3-4 complex. Grab a gear and back underway. Hun was really putting some great laps together over that stint. We'll see what the call is here. Is that iRacing.com pace truck leads the charge. Widen things out here a little bit. See if we have any takers on pit road. Anyone playing some games about faking? Nope, everyone's staying honest here. As we get ready to re-rack them, restack them here once again under the lights in prime time. Again, cannot do these races, in fact, run two phenomenal series without all the help of the sponsors, the men and women behind the screen, behind the scenes. Got to shout out Trak Racer, the official sponsor of the AMA Truck Series, for all their support, everything they do. Got to shout out David Dunwoody, Black Magic. Not only is he a partner, a sponsor of this series, he also is one of the strategic member of our strategic member alliance here on Redline Racing Network. As that iRacing.com pace truck pulls off. 15's going to have the button. Oh, what a restart by Hud. He's hungry. Yeah. Kendall Paul. What a move. We talked about Swervin' Irvin in the pre-race, well, before we went live, and he just dead hooked it across the nose. Big time, bold move there from Paul. He's like a cayenne pepper out there on the racetrack. He only knows one thing, and that is full set. Known for being an aggressive driver, and hey, tip my hat to him. He won't have it any other way. Sometimes it comes back and haunts him, as we seen last night, but because he was able to keep his composure, stay focused, able to rally back to a strong finish last night. His Hunt, that Chevrolet, really woke up when he took the lead. Now working lap 83. Let's go ahead and run through the field. Starting with your leader, Austin Hunt. Kendall Paul, your pole sitter, currently runs in second. Well, Kyle Heath in the 13 continues to chew him up and lay him down as he's now in third. And knocking on the back door of Kendall Paul, the Magic Man, David Dunwoody. Do or die for him tonight in that EcoBoost F-150. Paul Witt in Fraser, Michigan, and we're going to have to pause there because that yellow flag has shown its ugly face once again. That should be for the second stage here. Bring the pace back down to a crawl. And again, this racetrack, one of the iconic and historic stops on the NASCAR circuit. One of the circled races for a lot of these drivers at the start of a season. Everyone wants to win here at Martinsville. Such a special place, so much history. As we're under caution here at the AMA Truck Series, we're going to step aside, pay some bills, but don't worry, we'll be back with coverage from the AMA Truck Series from Martinsville here momentarily. Stick around. Don't go anywhere. Cutting in hard from commercial break as green flag back in the air here at Martinsville, Virginia. Deep into the playoffs. Cutoff race, the round of 8 comes to an end tonight. And Hund has the hot hand right now, but currently being scouted by Kendall Paul as he tries to pull the Intimidator of old move, trying to get him to mirror drive, dial up the excitometer inside the cockpit of that Chevrolet just in front of him. Last thing you want to do if you're Hun right now is get caught mirror driving. This is where you let the spotter, your crew chief do their job. Stay laser focused out that window, grit that steering wheel, and give it everything she's got. Oh, almost gets a little too much off the corner there. You see the back truck almost slap the fence. Throw the ticker back up on the screen for you guys following along at home. As it's Hun, Kendall, Paul, and Heat. And man, Kendall Paul is really starting to apply the pressure now. Is 99 laps written into the history books here. Kendall Paul was very strong out in front. However, Honda able to get the best of him on pit road. I personally thought he may have been caught speeding because, I mean, Kendall Paul did not slouch. I mean, he got the job done as well, but Austin, I mean, was just magnificent on pit road as we're halfway through this race. Got to shout everyone joining us here in the iRacing. All right, iRacing. Well, that's the simulation on the racetrack in the YouTube live chat right now. Hambone188 checking in, says it smells good in here. Kyle Heath on the racetrack and also in the chat. That's right, Pete. The pterodactyl flies again. Where's Big Bird? Well, Big Bird, he's on vacation. Good to see Pitt. Have a favorite driver, sound off. Let us know who you're rooting for as we're back to yellow flag conditions here at Martinsville. Austin going to lead him down pit road. Let's see if Kendall Paul can return the favor here. See if he can really dig deep here and get the lead back, which was taken from him on pit road. The 15 is in his box. Paul's in his. See the Jackman going to work. Driver's side going up. The 15 is down and away, and he is going to get Paul again. He may lose 2 spots here. A slow stop for Paul in the 78. Well, we followed that battle off of pit road. That's going to turn the lead over to Colby Pierce in the 20. So he's going to carry the torch for the first time here tonight in prime time. The nighttime is the right time after all, folks. My son is terribly upset. And Kendall Paul gets buried further and further into the field as we're under the lights at Martinsville. But, I mean, in the Xfinity race last night, we've seen just how important track position was. Now Colby Pierce takes his turn, his first time leading here in that EcoBoost F-150. The Murph, Mark Murphy, that P1 broadcasting machine, now up 8 positions. He continues to eat good in the neighborhood. He's going to restart here in the outside lane. Hooches in third. Austin Hun, your leader before that caution flag and round of pit stops, in fourth. Kyle Heath in fifth, and Kendall Paul in sixth. That iRacing pace truck goes, and here we go. Colby Pierce going to have the button. What? There we go. That had to have been a delayed yellow. That pace truck pulled off. I thought we're getting ready to go back to hammer time, and the pace truck comes back out onto the field. So perhaps race control, one of the admins seeing something they didn't like. So we're going to re-rack, restack this field again. Also, want to take this time to thank Black Magic, one of the strategic partner alliance members here on Redline Racing Network. And if you want to put some new vibe in your ride, get out of the static, go see the boys at Black Magic, David and Dunwoody and the gang. They can give you a one-of-a-kind, 100% authentic design. And remember, it's good for 210s out there on the racetrack. That is the one and only Black Magic. Pace truck pulls off again. Let's give this another try. Green flag in the air, and Pierce pounds him. Catches the field on the snooze button. He gets a great hole shot. That's going to put Mark Murphy in the trenches right now. 2x2. Little 69 on 72 action for that second place position. Murphy, Eaton on the bottom. Trying to hug that perforated line down there. Or I should say white and red. And there is an elevation change there with that curbing. You don't want to hit it. That'll seriously upset the balance of that race truck. Is all this hard screwing side-by-side racing is allowing Colby Pierce to pull away. He loves what he's seeing in the rearview mirror. Oh, we got problems. Around goes Hunt. He's got to be madder than a Keebler elf that got demoted to Fudge Packer after that one. Was out there leading moments ago, now going to find himself picking up the caboose here. So we now go back to the Redline Racing Network instant replay. Let's see what happened to Austin. Let's throw it up to the eye in the sky. On the 15 machine on the inside. This is as they're rocketing down the backstretch here. And it all goes wrong on the 3 and 4 entry. 69-0 kind of pinches him off there. I was just talking about that curbing too, and 15 catches a piece of it, and around she goes. How did Witt not make contact with it? Great heads-up driving by Witt, Kendall, Paul. All these drivers able to just sneak by the tailgate. That got up close and personal, quick, fast, and in a hurry. We now go back to the live side of things. Again, want to thank everyone for joining us here tonight for some great short track racing action, truck style here. Colby Pierce in the 20. He's had some boogie under the hoodie as of late. Great looking paint scheme on his ride here tonight. Gonna shuffle the deck, re-rack them. Grandma's sitting next to me. She's got her life alert in one hand, a ball of popcorn in the other. There he goes. Here we go. Reach up there, pull those belts tight one more time, boys. It's about to get real in the field. Green flag in the air. The 20 hammers down. Another beautiful. Oh, there the 69 goes around, and we got a traffic jam. There's multiple trucks involved. Everything just went wrong on the restart. Kendall Paul is in it. The 29 is in it. Ladies and gentlemen, top of this broadcast. I said when it goes off here at Martinsville, when that fuse gets lit, the bomb goes off, bad things happen here in the blink of an eye, almost like on a super speedway. Everyone is just so tightly compact and basically driving on top of each other. Mere inches apart at times, and yikes. Let's take a look at what happened coming off of the restart here. There we go. That view looks a little bit better. The 69 doesn't go. The 29 gives him a little of assisted push there. 29 is going to come up, give him a tap again. I'm going to try to thread the needle in between the 78. That option goes away, and he comes up and just hammers him. A 1-2 whack-a-mole situation there. Kendall Paul, obviously, nowhere to go. He's going to make contact. He's going to get spun around, goes into helicopter mode. The 28 of Dunwoody unleashes a howitzer into the 69. He gets up on two wheels. Not what Dunwoody was looking for. Is he just got treated like a redheaded stepchild, point blank in broad daylight. Kendall's hung up there on the racetrack, cannot get going. You can see him smoking the tires, trying to get that truck to move. As the 69 backs it down the racetrack and locks her down. As that's going to shuffle up the running order here. Colby Pierce continues to pounce on these restarts. He has been straight cash. Cash money, that is. John Hooch is back even with the board. Started second, runs second. Kyle Heath, been one of the fastest trucks out there on the racetrack in that Pit Boss Chevrolet. Just hasn't had the track position, and when he's gotten further up there, well, the fireworks have gone off. Dunwoody, after all that, somehow he's going to stay inside the top 5 here as the front of his truck's gone pug face mode. Front of that F-150 all kicked in, but again, as long as you got all the power under the hood and your truck's driving straight, really doesn't matter how the body looks here. It's all about how good you can rotate through these corners and get back on the throttle pedal. Hayes truck clears out of the way into the Geico restart zone, and Pierce once again puts on a restart clinic. Look at the 72 testing the waters there in that second lane. Ooh, Heath, he is there knocking on the back door. It's not delivery, it's Kyle Heath. Oh, the 72 just had a big-time pucker moment. He definitely had his pucker face on in that one. That almost was big. '72 is, well, he might need some paper inside the cockpit of that race truck. Colby Pierce maybe holding traffic up just a little bit here. Remember, he's not on the same tire strategy. In fact, let's pull up pit strategy data here. Oh, look at that pass for the lead just as we pull up the pit stop data. The Louisville slider from Heath, and now he leads at Martinsville. The 20 was looking for the crossover. He just didn't have enough steam in that thing, wasn't able to pull it off. You can see right now, Heath only 22 laps on his shoes. Well, Pierce is currently at a deficit as he has almost 50 laps on the tires on that 20 machine. Let's get that out of the way. Dunwoody able to get a spot here. Now he's back in that money slot. He is in third in the podium position. However, that is not enough. That will not check the box and advance him to the next round. He has to win. Sudden death for him. Unfortunately, every other driver who hasn't locked himself into the playoffs tonight. Hunt mired back in traffic a little bit as he rolls in that fourth place position in that Chevrolet. Another truck that was really strong out in front. Hooches now finds himself in fifth. Well, Brandon Hitt, haven't talked about much tonight. Beautiful paint scheme on that machine. Really digging the black, the pink, the purple. It's working on that machine. Hodgson has had an eventful evening in that 88. Checkered flag paint scheme on that machine. Paul Witt currently commands the eighth place position, while Jake Turner rides just inside the top 10 in 9. Matt Fernsey in 10th. And a man spent a lot of time battling up in the front, finds himself outside of the top 10. And that Black Magic 78. However, we've seen when push came to shove last night in the Xfinity cars, when he needed to turn up the wick and hit the afterburner, he was able to do so. Mark Murphy in the 69 ride. He's going to go around Kendall Paul there on the high side of the racetrack. Perhaps that 78 not driving right now to Kendall's. Oh! I did it. It took almost 133 laps to do it. We stay green. We got a truck parked down on the curving, and we still green. Deja vu what happened to Kendall Paul last night. Mark Murphy, I owe you an apology as I just invoked the broadcaster's curse on you, bud. And just like last night when Paul went for a ride, no love for the 69. He is not going to get a yellow. He is almost, in fact, in jeopardy of going a lap down here. Let's go on board with your leader, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. As you can see him just up the road. Things were going good for the 69 not that long ago, and now finds himself in 12th. Currently being hunted by your leader, Kyle Heath, who's been a beast at Martinsville, especially when leading. Working lap 136 of the scheduled 200. We're going to step aside for our final commercial break, and we'll be back with the conclusion of the AMA Truck Series competition here momentarily. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back on Redline Racing Network. Good evening, race fans. Welcome back to Martinsville, Virginia. Iconic racetrack doing big things tonight as the AMA Truck Series closes out the round of 8 right here on Redline Racing Network. Matt Metler, a.k.a. the Pterodactyl, at the helm up here in the Tony Trapasso Memorial booth as Kyle Heath has found his way to the front. Shades of Ricky Bobby now finds himself almost to a 5-second, not a half a second, not 2 seconds, almost a 5-second advantage over Colby Pierce there in second. And my God, when the last thing you want to do is give the 13 the lead here at Martinsville. I mean, this guy is like an F-22 Raptor. He gets out front and just lights the wick on that afterburner, and he just takes off. Gives that thing all the biscuits. I mean, last time by, he ran a 20:08. Everyone else is at least in the 20.2 second bracket. So he is almost 0.2 quicker at times, faster than the rest of the competition. That is just unheard of. Now less than 50 laps remaining in the final chapter of the round of 8. Also want to take a moment here to thank Trak Racer, the official sponsor of the AMA Truck Series. Such an important strategic partner who's been with them every step of the way, each and every race across this long, grueling season. Thank you for everything that you've done for the AMA Truck Series. We certainly appreciate the time and effort that you put into this relationship here at AMA. Kyle Heath has this thing on cruise control right now. Austin Hunt continues to run in that second place position. Currently has almost a 1 second advantage over Do or Die Dunwoody. At times, he has been the master of disaster this season. Other times, he has put on epic clutch performances like he did last night. Third, not good enough. Unfortunately, as he is on the outside of the cut line trying to win it in. Colby Pierce currently runs in fourth, 2 spots to the good. Last time by, ran a 20:22. And we're starting to get strung out a little bit, getting some real estate between these race trucks. That should help keep the caution flags down. However, Hodson, it's a different story because contact! What a save by Hodson. He's probably not happy with that move, as he got poke checked in the rear. Right in the business at home. Kendall Paul almost got a piece. Almost stuck the nose of that F-150 where the sun doesn't shine. He's able to get by. Hodson gonna bleed some positions here. That's gonna move him all the way back to 9th in the blink of an eye. Brandon Hilt, silent assassin out there tonight, continues to move up that scoring pylon. He's the second biggest mover of this race. In fact, let's go on board with the driver of the 27 See how he gets around this iconic racetrack. White and purple gloves to match the paint scheme under the lights here tonight from Speedway, Indiana. You don't know about Speedway, Indiana. That's basically Indianapolis Motor Speedway, another historic track, birthplace of racing, if you ask me. Hoosier at heart here. And if you guys didn't know, back in the inaugural Brickyard 400, Speedway, Indiana actually had their own sponsored car in that race. A lot of videos and content uploaded to YouTube recently about someone uncovering that race car. Don't want to say who, but basically it got put back together, restored. With Brandon Hinton in that Ford doing big things out there on the racetrack, having a great run in that 5th place position, as we're about to write the 169th lap in the history books here, as we're now 30 laps remaining. The burning of the midnight oil has started for these drivers that are in a must-win situation. Heath has backed it off a little bit, as he has now given some of that lead back to Hunt. However, I agree with this move 100%. He's basically got 3 counties between him and the rest of the competition. He does not need to go out there, run hard, and accidentally put himself in a position where he makes a mistake. We've seen this track bite these drivers, especially on entry, if you end up overdriving it just a little bit. Also gives him an opportunity to save those Dr. Feelgood should we get a late race caution here. Oh my God. I can't believe it. I just said late race caution, and the caution flag comes out. Kyle Heath, I owe you an apology. I am sick of this broadcaster's curse. I need a minute. I don't know if Matt Fernsey had a direct access to my audio feed, but right on cue, as if it was staged, the caution flag comes out once again, courtesy of the broadcast team. Let's take a look at it, as gut-wrenching as this is. This goes Baja mode, puts it up there on the curbing. That shouldn't have even thrown a caution. Maybe because he had 4 tires up there on the curbing, then teleports it to the pits. Unbelievable what just has transpired late here at Martinsville. I don't believe it. For some drivers, they are absolutely hot, boiling over right now, like the driver of the 13 Pit Boss Chevrolet. That spotter, pit crew, or that crew chief needs to be the voice of reason, calm them back down off of a cliff. Is that beautiful lead that the 13 had gone in the blink of an eye, as that's going to put Austin Hunn, Colby Pierce right on his back bumper. Other drivers may see this as a miracle, a gift, another shot, like Dunwood in the Black Magic 28. Paul Witt, a truck veteran. I've had the pleasure of calling multiple races he's competed in across various leagues. And that TRD-powered Simply Blue machine, or Simply Blue Pool machine. He's the final man inside the top 5 in 5th. Kendall Paul, your pole sitter. I mean, that truck was a rocket here early on. But it just seems like ever since he got beat off at pit road there by Hunt. Early in this race, he just has not had the speed in that truck. I'm not sure if, this racetrack has changed and gone away from him as it's rubbered up, or perhaps some lingering damage from some of the extracurricular festivities out there on the racetrack. But here we go. Let's see what Heath does here as we approach the Geico restart. So racked and taxed tightly. It's a drag race. What a beautiful restart there by Hunt. He did not let him get away this time, but the 13 is going to do like I said and start to back the pace down and save those tires in case we get a late race caution, and able to hold off the charge from Hunt. Let's go on board with the cut line driver, David Dunwoody, in the 28. 2x2, side by side, just in front of him. Oh, Dunwoody's going to send it in there like grandma's business. Dunwoody fighting for his life right now as it's okay to three-way, almost gets into the 13. Things back out as it's a John Force special at the front of this piece. Austin Hunt turning up the pressure, dialing it up, and he is going for the lead. The Pit Boss special fights back on the high side of the racetrack, utilizing that second lane. Able to put the power down, and we're still 2x2. They don't have it settled. Who is this helping? David Dunwoody. They're not allowing him to get away. 2x2, you cannot run the preferred line here, which is keeping Dunwoody in the mix. He may have to use the chrome horn here, ring the doorbell. He almost puts a bumper to the back of Heath. His tick, 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 tick. The clock continues to click down. It's almost time for extinction for some of these drivers. Extinction from the playoffs. How about Hunt? He was miles away from Kyle Heath out there on the racetrack, who had a tremendous lead. I mean, you could have parked 15 buses in between the 13 and the closest competition out there on the racetrack, basically almost a half a lap at times. Some of that started to evaporate as I believe he backed the pace down to save those tires. But when you're the leader deep in this race like Heath, if he would have came down pit road, everyone just would have did the opposite. Let's take a look at the pit strategy vector here. You will see almost equal shoes on these race trucks. Heath, Hunt, and Dunwoody. In fact, throw Colby Pierce into that mix, all down pit road on lap 173. There's now just 14 laps to go as we start to stretch it out. Dunwoody doing everything he can. He is probably sweating bullets inside the cockpit of that race truck. Just doesn't quite have the pace, as he's a tenth or two slower than the front two trucks. In fact, fastest truck out on the racetrack last time by, Kendall Paul, who was surging here in the speed department late again. But he is back in sixth, and probably time going to run out here, as that EcoBoost F-150 has come back to life. In fact, he is peaking on the inside. going up against the veteran and Paul Witt. Mere inches between both those drivers as they rocket off the corner. Down the backstretch. Oh, he makes contact. He lets him know he's there. Does not turn him. Easily could have there. But remember, do unto others as they do unto you. Gendel takes the peak again. Just does not have enough momentum through the center of the corner to challenge. Take a peek back up front. The lead is starting to heat up. Heath now able to find extra cojones under the hood of that pit boss machine, and he is now running back down Austin Hunt. Heath last time by at 1968 to Hunt's .71. Oh no, the 15 just went Christmas mode. You do not want to start lagging out here, especially leading the race and having somebody right on your tailpipe. It's one of the invisible gremlins here in the world of sim racing that can show its ugly face at any point in time for any reason, but it's not always the internet connection. 15 stabilizes, but I'll tell you what, the heart probably sank inside the 13 when he's seen that truck disappear. Sometimes you respawn back in and you're sitting in the cockpit with the other driver and bad things happen. Kyle Heath perhaps trying to let those good years cool off just a little bit as gentleman's handshake lap is in the air. 5 laps to go. Does the pit boss use the pit maneuver to get the win? We're going to keep coverage right here as this battle is really starting to heat up. Four laps to go. Man, that 15 really gets through the center of the corner. That's where he's better than the 13 right now. There's only a couple miles left to the finish. Austin Hunt needs to take that rear view mirror, chuck it out the window. That switch is flicked on. Both these drivers are seeing red, and no one's lifted until they see God or a checkered flag. Well, I guess technically they do have to lift. They're at Martinsville, but they are going in a late race caution, echoing the shades of the Xfinity race like last night. We're going to go all the way into overtime. Oh no, David Dunwoody may have been involved. Close quarters racing here. You see Dunwoody on the outside. You see the 20 walk the back end out of that race truck on corner exit there just a little bit as these guys are trying to put all the power down they can as fast as possible. There's Barney in the checkered or in the flag stand as they send it down here into one. Cole Witt comes up and gives him a shot right when that suspension loads up into the corner. You can see Dunwoody applying countermeasures, unable to get that truck pointed back straight, and around he goes. And Dunwoody just gets shot by his bazooka straight through. The heart on a personal level there is that may officially end his playoff run for a championship here tonight. And that didn't look intentional. That's just close quarters racing at Martinsville coming down to the end. Dunwoody, one of the drivers that had to win and in. Martinsville coming through again. This track famous for its iconic finishes and, well, making tempers and emotions boil over, and that could be happening here again tonight. However, we're going to get to see an overtime version of the Austin and Kyle show. Colby Pierce is going to be in the catbird seat here as he restarts in third. "200 laps the distance tonight wasn't enough to get to a natural finish. AMA going to do everything they can to end these races under green flag conditions, thus invoking overtime." Grandma's got her life alert panic button in the hand. She is. Grandma, you're shaking with the bacon over there. She's more nerved up than I am. Keep your teeth in. 2 by 2, side by side. Tell you what, when I'm in this situation, my nerves are pinging off the red limiter. Kyle Heath is going to need a restart of a lifetime here. This Hun leads them into the Geico restart zone. Oh, the 13 might have spun his tires a little bit there. The 15 launches like a Nissan GTR. 2 laps remaining. This HUD was a whole shot master there. Oh, there goes the cream filling. The racetrack is completely blocked as the 15 got shot out of the wad. The 88 backs it literally in front of the nose. And what was I saying about the man being in the catbird seat? Colby Pierce now carries the torch. Woo! I'm standing up, I ain't sitting down. This is absolutely incredible. Let's go back to the Redline Racing Network instant replay. Go to a different view here. He got just sandwiched there, nowhere to go, and we're going to have to roll this back manually, take over manual control here from the replay, guys. We're going to stop it right there, cue playback, slow it down, see if we can get this here. 20 gets a big-time run deep into the corner. He's going to penetrate all the way to the back bumper of the 13, who's going to come up and Captain Crunch the 15. He's going to get spun. The 29's going to get a piece of it. The 88, everyone else is going to get through. But hopefully that driver knows that Kyle Heath did not intentionally go up there and rattle his cage. He had help. Not that it makes the situation any better right now. I do believe we get 3 attempts at overtime here. Overtime, round 2 about to take place. As Colby Pierce somehow, some way, has been gifted the lead. Paul Witt, great short track driver now. Highest on the scoring pylon as he's been all night. As he's going to restart in that TRD Tundra, that TRD powered Tundra. Outside row number 1. Perhaps like the marketing slogan says, let's go places. Could Paul Witt go take a trip to victory lane? Kendall Paul's right back there in it again. Unbelievable. Place your bets, folks. It is about to get real in the field. There the pace truck goes. Here we go. Playoff overtime edition, round 2. Got to get a good restart. So, oh, he may have went early in the box. Colby Pierce tries to catch him on the snooze button. Oh no, the 29. What just happened? Did that caution come out because the 20 jumped the restart? And why did the 29 just shoot up the racetrack like a rocket? Let's go back to this restart here. Approaching the Geico restart zone. Stop it there. I think the 20 may have went just a tick early. Oh, the 29 threw it in there so hard, he just couldn't make the corner. I mean, he was giving it everything he had. We'll see if... And again, we don't have a live race control that I can pull up here into the broadcast booth. I just don't know why that caution flag came back out. Just a theory that I have. That's all that is. That is not confirmed with any race control or any league officials. This is it. Third and final. We're going all the way here at Martinsville. If this time we don't make it back to the checkered flag and that caution flag shows its ugly face, they believe the field will be frozen at the moment of caution, or they may be allowed to race back to the checkered flag. Can Colby Pierce steal a win here? As I believe now that restart was good by the 20, as I'm not seeing him dropping to the back of the field. He is maintaining his position out there on the racetrack. Not sure why we saw the caution there. Kendall Paul now finds himself in P2. Are you serious? I know a lot of times this season luck has not been on his side. But tonight, combined with a strong drive, can-do attitude, he finds himself in contention once again. Lights go out. We're about to unleash an EF5 tornado on the racetrack. Get rid of the pace truck check. Coming around turns 3 and 4 for the final restart here in Martinsville. Can the 20 do it again? He gets a great jump. Kendall spun the tires a little bit. The 20 wiggled as well. And here comes Paul Witt, driving like he's sending it to church. On Sunday morning, the round goes to 72. Perhaps we have unlimited overtime restarts here, folks. Dig yourself in. This could be a while. is how many times does Colby Pierce have to win a restart to win this race? We're going to step aside real quick, folks. Going to go all-out coverage here. Be back momentarily with the conclusion. The Track Racer 200 here from Martinsville. Race fans, we're back in Martinsville, deep into overtime. And while that, under most league rules, should have been the third and final overtime attempt, perhaps it is unlimited here in the AMA Truck Series. Oh, the tire on that 29 is pointed every way except the way it should be pointing. He's got a ton of toe knocked out of that thing. And camber as well. Nonetheless, lights go back out on the pace truck. Or excuse me, those lights are still on the pace truck. Rack stacked, ready to rock and roll here deep. Once again into overtime. Colby Pierce gonna have the button here. The 29 with the tire kicked out and all. Gonna try to... I mean, look at the tire of the 29. Here goes the 20. He's gonna drop the hammer. Kendall Paul squirts into second place. How is the 29 even able to maintain that type of a pace? That is incredible. Final lap in the air. We are racing back to checkered. Colby Pierce needs to have a beautiful execution here. He does. He gets off the corner cleanly as we John Force it down the backstretch for the final time. Colby Pierce going to wave to the crowd as he comes through the turns 3 and 4 complex. And at the start-finish line, Christmas comes early as Colby Pierce is gifted a win here in the AMA Truck Series. However, he did have to earn it with all of those restarts, though. As the 13 comes up, gives him a shot. Could be a salute. Job well done. As the 20 is going to find his way to victory lane. Kendall Paul, a runner-up finish here. In that second place position. And the veteran Paul Witt comes home third. We watch Colby Pierce burn the house down here. Or perhaps not. We give a moment for these race truck drivers a minute to celebrate with their team as we're going to get ready to interview the top 3 here. Colby Pierce, your race winner. Man, he was clutch in the overtime. All those restarts that he had to win and did. Kendall Paul Witt. Now we're just waiting on the race leader, Colby Pierce, as he now burns it down. There we go. Probably just waiting on confirmation that he indeed won that race. Get all of the good out of that truck now, buddy. You don't need it anymore. Another Black Magic paint scheme. Black Magic sponsored truck heads to victory lane here once again. What a burnout. Feeling like Kyle Larson out there. Gonna drift the corner. Let's get ready to speak to our race winner as he's out there doing the power slide. Gonna hop the curbing, burn it down some more. Joining me up here now in the Tony Trapasso Memorial Broadcast booth, Colby Pierce. Matt, up top, we got a copy, man.
Oh, man. Do I ever.
Dude, I almost wanted to say you got a Christmas gift here early, is you were really able to get that lead because of a late race caution. But, man, after that, restart after restart, how were you able to execute on all those restarts with such good competition behind you and put this thing in victory lane, man? What a job.
I honestly cannot thank enough to my team, my sponsors. Can't thank them. I just knew I had to get a good restart on all those. I was hoping we'd only get one restart, but, we can only take, so much. And I'm glad we were finally able to get to the white flag clean enough. I've been looking for a win like this forever, especially to, give massive thanks to Andy. He unfortunately had a sad end to the day. But without the help from Black Magic Studios and Dark Horse Performance and Interstellar Racing, I really couldn't do any of this. Like, they all helped me. I wasn't ready for this race, and they told me what I needed to do, and they coached me through the whole thing. So I'm thankful for them, and I'm thankful for all the people who tuned into this race and everyone who was rooting for me.
Hey, man, proof right there. It's never over until it's over. And much like we seen last night, the driver who won that race had to rise to the occasion at the end. And you were the Iceman. You got it done. Congratulations on the win. You mentioned how important this race means to you. Martinsville, an iconic race, an iconic track. It's been on the series schedule for a while.
Yeah.
What does it mean to you to win here at such an historic and iconic venue?
It doesn't necessarily, the track doesn't mean a lot to me. It's the whole short track, aspect of it. I grew up with a short track family, and that's all I knew was short track racing. My family helped out at our local Speedway for years and years, and didn't have the funds to get real race car and chose iRacing. I'm glad I'm able to win at short tracks and honor my family with that.
Well, hey, man, I'm sure you did the family proud, as I'm sure they were tuning in live to the broadcast. A lot of guys shouting you out in the chat as well all night tonight. And I know you kind of alluded to it already, but who do you want to thank who officially helped you get it done on that 20 machine as you put it into victory lane?
I want to thank everyone over at Dark Horse Performance and Interstellar Esports. I want to thank them. They were able to coach me through all of this, especially Kendall and James and John at the end there. They were telling me I need to hit my marks. And they've worked with me all season. And, I didn't make playoffs in trucks, but I'm just glad to have a win no matter what. It doesn't matter if it's a playoff win. It's a win regardless. It's going to be on the record.
Well, there he is, ladies and gentlemen. Colby Pierce digs deep and circles the wagons here in prime time. He's your winner here from Martinsville. Congratulations, man. That was a heck of a burnout show there, by the way, after you officially were confirmed the race leader. Congratulations, man. And final question for you here. Obviously, next week, going to be the exclamation point, everything that you have been through throughout this long grinding season. What does this momentum do for you going into the championship race?
Honestly, I mean, really, I just need to have a clean race. Phoenix is not one of my good tracks.
Mine either.
So I mean, I'm just gonna take what I can get, and I got this win today. So I'm glad it was here, and I got that. I mean, it's gonna build up excitement and momentum for sure for Phoenix, but I'm not gonna try to be in the way of the playoff guys because they got something more important to win than I do.
Yes, sir. Well said. I appreciate you up here in the Tony Trapasso Memorial booth. We'll let you go celebrate. Congratulations on the win once again, buddy.
Thanks, and thanks for joining us late into the season. We appreciate you.
Hey, not a problem. Glad I had the availability to help out, and it's been well worth it on my end. As it's been two great nights of racing back to back here at Martinsville for me, buddy.
Yeah. So you have a good one, Matt. Thank you for being here and showing the crowd an amazing race and fans on television.
Well, absolutely, man. You were clutch, like I said, especially there at the end. And there he is once again, ladies and gentlemen, Colby Pierce, your winner. I'll let you go celebrate back with your team. I'm going to put you back in the waiting area.
All right. Thanks.
See if the power's invested in me. Allow me to do that. We're going to try to get you back there, and he does. Going to pull up. Now the third place finisher here tonight going to be Paul Witt. We move him now to the Tony Trapasso Memorial Broadcast booth. Driver of the 29, Paul Witt. Matt up top, you got a copy, boss man.
Yes, I got you, Matt.
Well, hey man, I've had the benefit of watching you drive now for a couple years throughout my broadcasting time up here in the booth across multiple leagues. You're a veteran race car driver. You know how to get it done here at Martinsville. Talk me through your race tonight. How were you able to stay out of the storm and execute and be there when it mattered? Survive all the overtime restarts and put that truck in almost victory lane. You come home with a strong P3 finish.
Well, it was all luck. I mean, I hate this track, and it was just all luck. I mean, I had six points on Kendall at the start of the race, so I just needed Kendall in my sights all night. And when that first start of the race, when I got spun there, it just threw me backwards. And then just trying to get through traffic, trying to be nice, and I'm sure I made a few people mad, but that's short track racing.
That's short track racing, and that's one of the things that makes Martinsville special. You're reading my mind. Talk to me about that initial start of that race. I mean, what was that like mentally? Because here you are right off the start of this race, and you're getting kicked back to the caboose, and you're having to work your way through the field. How were you able to just stay focused and get those breaks out there on the racetrack that you needed, and come home here again with a solid third place performance?
Well, just luckily I had some good teammates that would listen to me holler and scream a little bit there, because I knew we were 3 wide, but the outside truck was way high, so I thought we would have cleared them coming off, and I guess we didn't, and I just went around, and I was pretty heated on there, but it was lap 1. We shouldn't have been racing that hard anyways on lap 1 going 3 wide or anything, but it is what it is, and I just had to put that behind me and just focus. I had some good teammates, with Kyle and Austin, to settle me down. So that was the key right there.
Well, Paul, I appreciate the expert analysis and breakdown there. Before I cut you loose, man, who do you want to thank who helps you get it done on the 29?
Man, I got to thank my sponsors, Simply Blue Pools. I got to thank them. Got to thank my wife for letting me come down here and having fun with all these guys every week, got to thank you for jumping in and doing the broadcast, and all the guys here. Kendall, he does a good job here. So just everybody all around. We got some good racing going.
Yes, sir. I agree. It's good to see you again. Glad to call you out there on the racetrack. It's been a little bit since I got to watch you in competition, but hey, as far as I'm concerned, you're picking up right there where you left off. Always a force out there each and every time I've got to watch you in the past, and it was certainly a pleasure up here tonight in the booth, watching you out there doing your thing on the racetrack. And there he is, ladies and gentlemen, from Fraser, Michigan. Paul Witt, driver of the 29 machine. That TRD-powered machine was going places, and he comes home P3, Appreciate your time up here in the booth, buddy.
Thanks, Matt. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Always good to talk to Paul Witt, great veteran race car driver. And always, and at any time he is out there on the racetrack. One more driver to talk to, and that's going to be your second place finisher tonight. We get ready to talk to the man, the myth, the legend. Kendall Paul, welcome to the broadcast booth, my friend.
I got you, Matt. What's going on?
Well, hey, man, you're what's going on. I mean, it's almost like deja vu. I mean,
Right?
it almost seemed like your race was over. Your back was against the
Yep.
wall. And here you go, digging deep. You find a way, you get some cautions to go your way. And here you are in P2, man. How do you make it look so easy?
I mean, it's again, like we talked about last night, it's that mentality of just staying in it and keep going. And I mean, I honestly thought the race was over and it was just damage control after that wreck there. And we got held up by the 56. We finally had to move him. I mean, I'm sorry that I had to move him, but you got to do what you got to do to get to the
Well,
championship
you did
four.
it politely, right?
I did politely. I was patient behind him, and then I saw we were losing to the pack, and I saw Paul Witt leaving, and I was like, I don't want to risk taking all that hard-earned points that I had with the stage 1 win and really good stage 2 points. I didn't want that going all down the drain, so kept the head into it, and then we had a caution and everything. Put the tires on, and I mean. The pit crew put the left sides on when I got that damage, so we had a little bit of time to get the temperatures equal back out. But a really good night, and I mean, congrats to Colby. That's exactly why you don't.
Well said. I couldn't agree with you more there, Kendall. And again, just once again, another historic clutch performance from you in that 78 machine. You know, talk to me about the tire wear out there tonight. I noticed, and we talked, with the top 3 drivers last night, that, those Goodyears really seemed to start to fall off after about 15 laps or so. Did they hold on a little bit better tonight in the trucks, or was it a similar story as far as the tire fall off is concerned?
Tire fall off, at least for me, I think I was a little bit more on the tire fall off than everyone else on the team. I think that after the first run, I was down to 91 or something on the right front. So it wasn't like horrible, but it was decent. I mean, it seemed like you got like 15 to 20 laps like the Xfinity Series last night to make moves and everything. And then the tires just kind of sort of equaled out. It seemed like. But I felt a lot better in the truck than I did in the Xfinity car tonight. I didn't get loose in one tonight, so that was awesome. I maybe got loose once, but not wrecking loose. But yeah, overall the tire wear, though, to answer your question, no, not a big factor, I don't think.
Yeah, it's just always good to know because obviously, you watch the trends of the race and obviously sometimes you're holding back a little bit. So you really don't know. And it's, I can speculate all I want up here from the broadcaster's booth, but hey,
Yep.
Why not get the source from a man that was out there on the racetrack and putting on quite a show if you ask me.
Yeah.
And finally, before I cut you loose, man, actually, I'm going to hold you up here for a couple minutes. We got some announcements to make after your official race interview. But who do you want to thank? Who helps you get it done on the 78?
Oh, most importantly, you got to thank all the sponsors, right? Archway Industrial and Coatings, Admin Box, Black Magic Studios, Trak Racer, Rogue Energy, all those guys that contribute some way to this league and keep things going around. And got to thank the team, both Black Magic Sim and all the guys at Interstellar Esports. I mean, those guys over at Interstellar Esports, they have the do not quit mentality, and
Yes, sir.
That's really appreciated, and that's what builds a great team right there. So I got to thank them. I mean, thanks to Dunwoody and thanks to Colby there as well. Thanks to Mark over at Black Magic Sim and everything. I mean, I'm gutted for Dunwoody. I thought he could have, with all these cautions, I think he could have very well had the win. But I mean, unfortunately, that's just how the sport goes sometimes, and you got to clear your head and keep going forward. And now the mentality for those guys that got eliminated is to look at the season you just had and recognize the accomplishments there. But now it's main focus for the 78 is we're in the championship 4, so now in both series. So now we got to manage practice times and everything between the 2 series, and try to at least get one championship out there.
Well, Kendall, I
yeah.
mean, that's just it, not to cut you off there. And,
Yeah.
you mentioned over the course of this season, I mean, this is no short season. I mean, you guys
No.
run the gauntlet.
Oh
So,
no, it's an endurance basically.
Yes,
It
sir.
seems like we started this clear back in February at Daytona, and I mean that seems like it's been years ago almost now. And having all that momentum there from getting the two going back to back in the Xfinity and Truck Series back there back in February, that was awesome. But yeah, all these guys, I'm really appreciative of all the community that's stayed for the whole season. It's not an easy task to do, to complete a whole season, and that in itself is an accomplishment right there. When you finish off a season, no matter if you are fighting for a championship or you didn't make the playoffs in the first part of it. A lot of props to those guys that are not in the playoffs that come out here week in and week out. It's very greatly much appreciated. And to add on to my thanks, I forgot, I got to thank all the staff team here at AMA to keep this thing going around. They've been helping me out immensely, and they're going to be helping me out immensely during the off season, so I got to shout them out as well.
Yeah, and that's a great point. That's exactly what I was alluding to. A long season here, all the blood, sweat, tears, the highs and the lows, and everything that you have done. Last night you were clutch, and once again tonight you found a way to come through. Congratulations on being eligible to race for a championship next week. And I look forward to picking up the competition next Friday night in the Xfinity Series. And then we finish it off officially a week from today with the Truck Series. Be crowned a champion next week. Congratulations on the opportunity. And I also want to congratulate all the other drivers, that made it into the round of 8. I mean, that is something they should hang their hat on. That's an accomplishment in my book. I don't know if I could do that. Talking about drivers like, you mentioned a good friend of yours, David Dunwoody, he comes up just a little bit short. Mark Murphy, who had a heck of a season. James Hodgson, the ups and downs, and I mean, he really came on late, and Jake Turner. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I'm sure right now how their emotions may be a little on the fence, but I mean, I think after they have a chance to kind of sit down and reflect back on their season, I mean, to make it this far, that really says something, and quite frankly, gives them something to look forward to when we get ready to do this all again at Daytona at the start of 2025.
Yeah, exactly. And just for your fans and everything, I did send you the wrong championship thing. I forgot Mark Murphy did have a win, so he is in the championship for Austin Hunt does not make it in. If you saw that, I'd have made that correction.
I got the Excel snippet, so I'm glad that you confirmed that. And you know what, folks? Last night I announced it officially. Tonight, I think it's only fitting that the director of AMA officially announces the drivers that have made it to the Final Four. Kendall, the floor is yours, sir.
Yeah, so the championship 4 tonight, or championship 4 going into Phoenix. Of course, this is unofficially. We have to still do our post-race review and everything to make the official results, but unofficially, Kyle Heath will be fighting for a championship. He got the win back at Homestead to secure his spot in the Final Four. Mark Murphy's also in the Final Four. He secured his spot back at Talladega. That seems like it's been a long time ago, but that was literally only 3 weeks ago. Paul Witt, with his championship 4 berth, being the only rookie going into the championship 4, he has locked in the Rookie of the Year for the Track Racer Truck Series. So congrats to him on that. And then the final spot, of course, me going into this one thing.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it first here from the HMFIC of AMA. However, that is pending further review just to verify that everything was legal out there on the racetrack. But we now have our championship 4. And Kendall, I know I asked you this question last night. I'll open the floor to you again. If these drivers watching here right now on Redline Racing Networks, if they love the Truck Series as much as you guys do you have spots available for 2025 should they want to get into the competition? If so, what's the best way to track you down?
Yeah, we got spots open where registration will be opening here in about 2 weeks, just a week after the championship 4 for 2025. It's a little bit different registration process next year, so just kind of be on the lookout that when you join. But you can either contact us on American Motorsports Association or on Facebook. We also do have Instagram as well. I forgot to mention that last night. Those 2 platforms, if you message the American Motorsports Association on there, we can get you a Discord invite and get you all set up. Or you can also reach out to me on Discord, Storm78. on Discord for an invite. We would love to have you come out. Like I said last night, we're just a community out here enjoying one common interest of NASCAR and racing, and having fun all night long, and Thursday and Fridays. That's the main thing of it, really. You can be competitive and that sort of thing, but the main thing that we really pride ourselves on is having fun and being one community. But yeah, like I said, we'd love to have you come on out, have some fun, and hopefully we'll see you in 2025.
Well, thank you, Kendall. I appreciate your extended time up here in the broadcast booth. And again, congratulations on back-to-back, interstellar clutch performances, man. I mean, 2 nights in a row, you had to really dig deep, and you had the poise, you had the self-discipline, and the ability to hit the afterburner when you needed to here. You kept the grip at the paperclip, and you come home with a solid P2 finish. Thanks again for joining me up here in the booth.
Yeah, thank you, Matt, and thank you again for coming in last minute, getting these final 2 races. Really appreciate it. The whole community appreciates it. All I've heard is good things about it. Looking forward to listening to this one back again, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah, I'm just glad everything worked out, and I appreciate the opportunity to be here, and I appreciate your time. I'll let you back right now, celebrate with your team, and in fact, I'll join you in the post-race coverage here momentarily at the conclusion of the broadcast.
Okay, sounds good, Matt.
Again, want to thank Kendall for joining us up here in the booth. Ladies and gentlemen, and as you heard, if you think you have what it takes to get in the ranks of this league, make sure you get on the ticket for 2025. A lot of big changes, a lot of surprises up in the coming weeks and months to follow. Message Kendall, make sure you get involved in the Discord, and him and his staff will get you pointed on the path to competing here in the 2025 AMA Truck Series. Well, unfortunately, folks, like all good things, including this broadcast, must come to an end. Have to thank all the partners, sponsors that work so diligently behind the scenes, all the men and women that assist and support AMA in all 3 of their series. Without your hard work and dedication, it simply could not be possible. And as the late, great Tony Trapasso used to say, as you walk down the road of life this week, do us all a favor, don't play in traffic, and we'll see you next time right here on Redline Racing Network.